Hello everyone, it's me, Tom Storytime again. I invite you to listen to the story. My girlfriend and I had been together for 3 years. But when I was hospitalized with gastritis, she abandoned me to take care of her white moonlight, just because he had a fever. Seeing their intimate video, I only silently clicked like. Afterward, I told myself that what cannot be kept should be let go. With that thought, I calmly proposed a breakup and decided to go abroad to focus on my career, decisively leaving her behind. 5 years later, when I returned as a success, she regretted it. But by then, she was already someone else's wife. She cried, saying she regretted everything and begged to come back to me. The day I was admitted to the hospital for my illness, my girlfriend, Lu Ruyan, took a phone call and left me to go to the house of Su Hao, her childhood best friend, because he had a fever. She said, "I'll be right back." But she didn't return all night. That evening, I saw a video Su Hao posted with the caption, "With you by my side, I'm not afraid of any illness." I commented under the video, "That's right, she is very good at taking care of others." Lu Ruyan quickly called me, trying to reassure me, "It's not what you see, he's just so pitiful, so I only went to care for him a little bit." I simply replied nonchalantly, I know you two are friends, taking care of him is what you should do." Then I hung up and lay awake all night. In our 3 years together, I was always the one chasing her, while Su Hao was her childhood best friend. Ruyan once said that if there were anything between them, they would have been together long ago, leaving no room for me. But I didn't understand. Love is a matter of 2 people, so how could there be 3? After thinking for a long time, I sighed, looked through my inbox, and responded to an invitation from the company, while also calling the manager to report that I had decided to go abroad for work. "Is that true, Gu Chenan? You refused before, have you changed your mind now?" the manager asked. "That's right, I've thought it through. Going on a business trip to the overseas branch is also good." I replied, "I will leave in 1 month." After hanging up, I took a deep breath, feeling that everything was about to end. And as expected, Lu Ruyan did not return all night, but I didn't care anymore. The next morning she returned, still wearing yesterday's clothes but carrying a strange, sweet scent of roses. I thought to myself, the hospital doesn't have a place to bathe? Moreover, we don't use this kind of body wash at home. Perhaps out of guilt, Lu Ruyan hurriedly apologized. "I'm sorry, Su Hao suddenly had a fever yesterday, I only went to look after him for a bit and then fell asleep." "Don't mind it." I calmly replied, "It's okay, taking care of a sick person is very exhausting." My words left her speechless. She didn't expect me to be so calm. "Have some breakfast, I bought yam porridge for you, it's not spicy," she said and tried to feed me. But I refused. "Gu Chenan, are you doing this on purpose? I had good intentions bringing breakfast, why are you being so arrogant?" She got angry. I sighed and said, "I am allergic to yams." Her face immediately turned pale, and she stammered in confusion, Sorry, I forgot. What do you want to eat so I can go buy it?" "No need, I already ordered takeout, it's almost here." I finished speaking just as the takeout arrived. I sat on the bed eating bite by bite, feeling much better. Lu Ruyan stared at me, finally unable to hold back, and said, "You've changed. Why aren't you angry?" "Angry about what?" "You already apologized, and it wasn't intentional." I was composed. She didn't know what to say, just stood there dazed. Right then, Su Hao called, "Ruyan, I still don't feel well. Can you come over here?" Lu Ruyan immediately answered, "Okay, I'm coming right now." Then she looked at me hesitantly, "He's all alone, I'll go check on him and come back right away." I looked straight at her, "You said the same thing last night but didn't come back all night." "I am also alone." "Lu Ruyan, you are my girlfriend, can't you choose me just once?" I asked, but before she could answer, the phone rang again. This time Su Hao's voice was even weaker, "Ruyan. The doctor said I might have pneumonia, what should I do?" Hearing that, Lu Ruyan immediately became anxious. "Don't worry, I'm coming right now." Then she turned to me with a forced smile, "You were able to order takeout yourself, so you should be fine. Next time I will definitely stay by your side." After saying that, she left without looking back. I clenched my fists, thinking that there would be no next time anymore. I would not put my hope in her ever again. 1 week later, I was discharged from the hospital. On the day I left, Lu Ruyan was also with Su Hao completing his discharge procedures. I had never seen her so gentle. She carefully supported Su Hao. Even though he was tall and large, he leaned on her as if he were paralyzed. It was just a flu, yet he stayed in the hospital for a week, and now coming out his lips were red and teeth were white, acting so convincingly. I gave a mocking smile and turned away to call a car home. The documents for the overseas branch had been sent by the manager. I began packing my luggage and organizing everything. While I was in the middle of arranging things, Lu Ruyan returned, and there was a girl with her. It was Wen, her childhood best friend. When she saw me, Wen glanced over and asked Lu Ruyan, "Didn't you say he was still in the hospital? Why is he back?" Wen was a fan of the Su Hao and Lu Ruyan couple, always pushing them to be together. Since Lu Ruyan and I started dating, every time she met me, she never had a good word to say, but I didn't care. It seemed Lu Ruyan had forgotten I was being discharged today. When she saw me, she was also surprised before reacting. "You're out of the hospital. Why didn't you say a word to me?" She seemed a bit worried. I replied nonchalantly, "I saw you were busy, so I didn't want to bother you. Anyway, it's nothing important." As soon as I finished, Wen spoke disdainfully, "See? He's fine and doesn't need your concern. And you even troubled yourself coming here to help him cook." Lu Ruyan's face turned between blue and white. I just nodded to them and went back to the room to continue packing. Seeing the trash can full, she frowned, then suddenly discovered the ceramic piece we had made together, and she immediately froze. Lu Ruyan walked into the room and asked, "Gu Chenan, what do you mean? Why did you throw away our ceramic doll?" I glanced over and said, "Didn't you also say before that it wasn't anything special? I accidentally broke it, so I just threw it away." Those words made her choke up. That ceramic doll was a souvenir from our first trip. I used to cherish it very much, but now throwing it away was like cutting ties with the past. Hearing me say that, Lu Ruyan was speechless. Wen pulled her outside. "Let's go, don't pay attention to him anymore. He's just trying to play games. Didn't you say Su Hao lost a lot of weight because of pneumonia? He needs nourishment. Go into the kitchen and think about what to cook." The two of them whispered as they walked away. I didn't care too much either. Since Wen didn't like me anyway, why should I care about her words? I just focused on packing my luggage and taking the documents into the office to study. The work at the overseas branch was much more complicated than at home, so I needed to prepare carefully before leaving to work effectively. While I was studying, Lu Ruyan suddenly came to ask, "Gu Chenan, do you want to eat anything special?" She was surprised to see me immersed in a pile of documents. "Did you change jobs?" I nodded. "Yeah, you could say that. There's a new opportunity, I want to try it." "Is something the matter?" She hesitated and then said, "I just wanted to ask what you wanted to eat." I calmly replied, "You eat whatever you're eating, I already ordered takeout." My answer made her a bit unhappy, but then she softened her voice. "Gu Chenan, are you hiding something from me? I feel like you've changed." "Really? I don't think so. Isn't this how we've always communicated?" I said. In the past, whenever we argued over trivial matters, she always insisted she had her right to freedom and that I shouldn't bother her. Now that I was giving her that freedom, she wasn't used to it and turned around to blame me for changing. Lu Ruyan was about to say more when Wen Ying's voice drifted from the kitchen. "Ruyan, how do I do this dish? Come here quickly." Lu Ruyan had no choice but to turn away. I found it quite amusing as I took my glass out to pour some water. Just as I stepped out, I heard Lu Ruyan say, "I feel like he wants to leave me. It's for the best if he leaves." Wen replied gleefully, "Didn't you always say Su Hao is far better than him? This is the perfect chance to break up." Hearing this, I couldn't suppress a cynical smile. It was true that I had lost my entire family in an accident when I started university. Since then, I had lived alone, cutting off contact with everyone. When I met Lu Ruyan, I considered her my only family and tried my best to get along with her friends, but they never accepted me. Now that I had decided to end it, what they thought of me no longer mattered. Lu Ruyan sighed, but back then, Su Hao's parents didn't agree. My parents also said the Su family was too different, that our family couldn't compare, so I should choose Gu Chenan. After all, he has no parents, so there wouldn't be any troublesome in-law drama. Wan-ing said with satisfaction, so that's what you were thinking. Just keep it that way and don't pay him any mind. At that moment, I walked into the room with the glass of water in my hand, startling Lu Ruyan so much she dropped a bowl on the floor. When did you come in? She asked in a panic. I was just thirsty, I replied calmly. She tried to explain, but I interrupted her. Actually, you're not wrong. When in a relationship, one needs to consider many factors. My advantage is that I have no family conflicts. It's very simple. No. It's not like that, Chunan. I didn't mean. Su Hao and I could never be a couple. Before she could finish, Wan-ing pulled her aside. Why are you explaining yourself to him? Su Hao is much better than he is. You and Su Hao should have been together long ago. If it weren't for your parents' opposition, he wouldn't even have had a chance. Lu Ruyan shouted angrily at Wan-ing. Shut up. Our business is none of your concern. Wan-ing furiously pushed me aside and said to Lu Ruyan, I don't care about you anymore. With that, she slammed the door and left. Only Lu Ruyan and I remained in the room. Seeing her flustered face, I gave a faint smile. Ruyan, let's break up. Lu Ruyan shook her head frantically. No breakup. She was just joking. Su Hao and I could never. There is only you in my heart. Don't say those things anymore, I don't want to hear them. Having said that, she turned her back to me and said, I have to go cook now, you go outside. I knew she didn't dare face me, so I only sighed and turned to walk out. No matter what, in Lu Ruyan's eyes, I was always just a secondary choice, a spare tire. In reality, she didn't love me that much. It was just that in her current situation, I was her best option. Humans always tend to make choices based on benefits and risk avoidance. Lu Ruyan was busy in the kitchen for a long time. As she was preparing to come out, I had already arranged an appointment to go out myself. Just then, the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, Su Hao was standing there with a bouquet of roses in his hand. Ruyan, I know you're home. Thanks to your care while I was hospitalized, I feel much better. To thank you, I came to visit and brought some soup I cooked for you. He flaunted the things in his hands and looked at Lu Ruyan with excitement, his eyes flickering toward me in a challenge. I took a deep breath and flashed a smile. You two talk, I'm going out for dinner. Su Hao proactively suggested, why not eat together? I cooked a lot. I shook my head, no need, I already have plans with a friend. You two go ahead and eat. I walked away immediately after speaking. I truly did have an appointment. Today I also had to report to the office, and while I was at it, I invited the manager to dinner to ask about the branch operations. Lu Ruyan called my name from behind, but I ignored her. I was busy now and had no time to waste on their meaningless lies. Su Hao then said, it seems I didn't come at a good time. Fine, I'll leave to avoid trouble. Lu Ruyan hurried to stop him. Don't go. If he wants to go, let him. As I waited for the elevator in the hallway, the sound of laughter and talking still echoed from inside. At this moment, my heart was truly at peace. If it were before, I would certainly have been angry, but now I had no emotion left. Perhaps I had truly let go. When I reached the meeting spot, the manager looked at me and smiled. Well done. You recovered quickly, I'm relieved. How are the preparations? Almost finished. How long will I be abroad? I replied. The manager said with satisfaction, a 5-year contract. After you return, you'll be promoted to Regional General Manager. That position is definitely yours. Don't worry about the salary, it's triple your current pay, and after you return, your annual salary won't be less than $1 million. The salary and bonuses were my motivation for staying at this company. When I first started, the boss made it clear that the company valued talent. If your skills grew, any position was attainable. Before, I didn't want to go because of Lu Ruyan, but now it was different. Once everything was let go, I needed to think of myself. During the meal, Lu Ruyan called repeatedly, but I didn't answer, only keeping the phone on silent. She also sent a text, Gu Chunan, what do you mean by this? Su Hao was kind enough to bring soup, and you just left. Do you know how embarrassed I was in front of him? I didn't reply and continued chatting with the manager throughout the afternoon until I returned home in the evening. When I got home, the place was pitch black. Turning on the lights, I saw that the shards of the glass cup were still on the floor. I said nothing more, just called a moving service to take all my luggage away and looked at the room one last time. Goodbye, Lu Ruyan. I blocked all her phone numbers and moved into the company dormitory. I probably wouldn't be back for the next 5 years, so there was no need to rent a place. Late that night, around 11 p.m., I happened to see Su Hao's social media post, "Thank you for being by my side in my life," accompanied by a photo of him and Lu Ruyan hugging and singing affectionately. I liked the post and immediately blocked Su Hao as well. The next day at the office, the manager announced my upcoming departure to the overseas branch. A few familiar colleagues teased me, "You have to treat us to a proper meal. Congratulations on the promotion." I agreed immediately. That evening, I chose a rather high-end restaurant to treat everyone. Just as I entered the restaurant, I saw Wen Ying with a group of people, among whom were Lu Ruyan and Su Hao, holding hands tightly. Seeing me, Lu Ruyan quickly let go of his hand and asked in surprise, "Why are you here?" Wen Ying curled her lip. "Isn't it because he heard you were here that he crawled over?" She spoke with a sarcastic tone. "Gu Qinan, can you stop being so disgusting? You said you didn't care, so why are you still here stalking people?" I gave a thin smile. "Who said I was stalking you? Are you delusional? This restaurant isn't yours. You can't ban me from coming." Wan Ying shouted angrily, "What did you say?" I calmly replied, "You have a secret crush on Su Hao, don't you? Since we've broken up, I don't need to show respect to Lu Ruyan's friends anymore, so I'm telling you straight." Hearing this, Wan Ying grew even more furious. "You? What nonsense are you talking?" I just smirked. "Whether I'm right or not, you know very well yourself." I turned my back to enter the restaurant just as my colleagues arrived. Seeing me blocked at the door, they quickly called out, "Gu Qinan, come in. Why are you standing out there? You're about to go abroad, we have to go all out today." I shook my head. "It's nothing." Hearing that, Lu Ruyan's face turned ashen, but I didn't care and walked into the restaurant with my colleagues. "When are you going abroad?" Lu Ruyan rushed over to ask. "You're planning to go overseas? Since when? Didn't you say you were just changing jobs? Why do you have to go abroad?" She gripped my arm tightly while Su Hao followed behind, advising her, "Ruyan, calm down. It seems you weren't part of his plans, so he didn't tell you." Hearing his instigation, I simply nodded. "That's right, you aren't part of my plans. We broke up, remember?" The colleagues behind me looked on in surprise. Then, one of them suddenly realized, "Is she your ex-girlfriend? The one who stayed with another man while you were hospitalized with gastritis?" I was slightly stunned. "How did you know?" The colleague shook his phone. "I saw it on the internet a while ago. I'd seen her at the office before, but then I saw her appearing in that man's videos. The comments all said they were so sweet. Turns out she's that kind of person, eating from one bowl while eyeing another. Qinan already said it's over, so why are you still here causing trouble? You probably saw his promotion and decided to climb the social ladder. Get lost, you're not worthy." Before I could say anything, my colleague stepped forward to push Lu Ruyan away. Her face flushed red with anger as she screamed at me, "Gu Qinan, are you doing this on purpose? Does it make you happy to let your colleagues insult me like this?" The colleagues burst out laughing. "Insult you? Are you joking? Someone like you isn't even high enough class to be insulted. Go away, stop making a scene here." The waitstaff quickly arrived and escorted Lu Ruyan and her group out. Later, Lu Ruyan borrowed someone's phone to call me, but I hung up immediately. She didn't give up, changing numbers 3 times to keep calling. Finally, not wanting her to ruin the gathering, I picked up. A pleading voice came from the other end. "Qinan, don't go. Can you please talk to me? Please don't leave." I sighed, said goodbye to my colleagues, and walked out into the hallway. Lu Ruyan rushed up to grab my hand. "Can you please not go? I don't want to break up, I beg you." I shook my head. "Lu Ruyan, we've already made the issues between us clear. The breakup is non-negotiable." Lu Ruyan's complexion turned pale as she struggled to speak. "I admit I was wrong at the hospital, but I truly regret it and I've apologized." I gave a thin smile. "Really? Apologized and then went out to play with him immediately after? Her face went white. I continued, "Don't say anything else. I have proof, both videos and photos of the two of you that are even more disgusting. Go away, I don't want to say another word." I turned to walk away, but she hurriedly pulled my arm back. "Please give me one more chance." At that moment, Su Hao appeared. Seeing Lu Ruyan begging me, he immediately stepped forward and pulled her back. "Ruyan, he doesn't know how to cherish you. Let him see that you don't need him." Lu Ruyan was about to say more, but Su Hao stopped her. She screamed angrily, "Let go." Then she said to me, "Gu Chinan, if you really go abroad, I will never forgive you." I ignored her, went back into the private room, and closed the door. Love could betray me, but I couldn't let myself give up this opportunity again. I had made my decision, there was no turning back. Lu Ruyan stopped looking for me, and I felt more at ease. During the following month, I often thought that if I hadn't been with her before, perhaps my life would have been different. A month later, I completed all the procedures and prepared to board the plane to go overseas. But at the airport, I saw Lu Ruyan again. She had actually chased me here, carrying a large suitcase. Behind her was Su Hao, looking furious. "You've really decided to follow him? What's so good about this guy?" Unlike her usual self, Lu Ruyan turned around and snapped at Su Hao, "I don't need you to pretend to be kind. Can you marry me? You gave up back then, so what reason is there to stay with me now?" Su Hao was left speechless. Hearing those words from a distance, I only smiled slightly, shook my head, and decisively walked away. Not long after, Lu Ruyan caught up and sat down next to me. "Chenan, don't dream of abandoning me. Where you go, I follow." I paid her no mind. Since we had already broken up, if she wanted to follow, so be it. I was here to work, not for romance. Seeing that I said nothing, Lu Ruyan thought I had agreed, and her face brightened. After a flight of over 10 hours, everyone was exhausted. Fortunately, someone from the branch was there to pick me up. Seeing Lu Ruyan with me, the receptionist was surprised. "Manager Gu, this is..." Lu Ruyan quickly grabbed my hand. "I am his girlfriend." I brushed her hand off and replied coldly, "We've already broken up, stop bothering me. If you continue, I'll call the police and you won't have it easy. Buy a ticket home, Lu Ruyan. This is the last time I'm making this clear to you. In a foreign land, don't be so arrogant. If you do something wrong, watch out, this isn't just a threat." But Lu Ruyan still didn't believe it and insisted on lingering. The branch staff weren't people to be bullied either. They immediately had security pull her aside and forbid her from getting near me. Lu Ruyan screamed and collapsed to the ground, crying bitterly. Without a hint of regret, I turned and got into the car. Afterward, I still frequently received calls from unknown numbers. She was still in the country, seemingly still wanting to get back together with me, but I refused to see her. About 3 months later, Lu Ruyan finally couldn't take it anymore. Security reported to me that a man had come to pick her up and showed me a photo. I recognized it was Su Hao. It seemed they were still together. This made me feel relieved. It's better that they stay together, just don't bother me anymore. Without Lu Ruyan, my life became quite stable. The work at the overseas branch was more complex than I imagined, but thanks to thorough preparation, things weren't too difficult. 5 years is neither long nor short, but it was enough for me to build a solid career. Occasionally, old colleagues from home would send me news about Lu Ruyan. Even Wenning somehow got my phone number and regularly forwarded news about the two of them. Eventually, Su Hao married Lu Ruyan because she was pregnant with his child. When the two met their families, disagreements broke out, almost leading to a physical fight, but Wenning still supported them wholeheartedly. "Gu Chinan, actually you're a good person, but you weren't worthy of Lu Ruyan. Now they've overcome all obstacles to be together. My hope has finally come true." Reading those words, I only felt like laughing. Wenning secretly liked Su Hao but enthusiastically played matchmaker for her best friend and him. The logic of this woman was truly incomprehensible. Before the wedding, Lu Ruyan sent me a letter thousands of words long, saying she was reluctant to be with Su Hao, that she still loved me in her heart, and that if I just said the word, she would abandon the marriage immediately. When I reached that part, I nearly burst out laughing. I took a screenshot and posted it on social media. I heard that before the wedding day, Su Hao and Lu Ruyan had a massive argument that caused her to run away from home, but in the end, he dragged her back because the wedding invitations had already been sent out. They were forced to marry. Hearing this news, I only gave a faint smile. It seemed their feelings weren't as solid as diamonds. Just a little provocation was enough to make them fight. From then on, I no longer paid them any mind. My work was far too demanding for me to waste time dwelling on such matters. 5 years passed, and I finally returned home. My former manager had been promoted, and I was appointed as the regional director. On my first day back, my colleagues organized a welcome party for me. When I arrived at the hotel, I heard a voice I couldn't believe, Gu Chenan. Turning around, I saw it was Wening. I hadn't expected to run into her on my very first day back. Among Lu Ruyan's old circle of friends, Wening was the one who hated me the most, always mocking and ridiculing me. But today, standing before her as a successful man, I only gave a faint smile, tucked my hands into my pockets, and prepared to leave. Wening immediately rushed over to block my path. Gu Chenan is back, and pretending we're strangers isn't very nice. Let's have a meal together. She tilted her head, clearly thinking she was being charming. I smiled slightly and said, Miss Wan, we aren't close enough to sit at the same table. My apologies. With that, I nodded and walked away. Behind me, Wening screamed in anger, Who do you think you are? You strike it rich and suddenly you don't recognize people? I only gave a thin smile and said nothing more. She wasn't worth getting angry over. After dinner, I returned to the hotel. Having just finished the handover process, I hadn't had time to buy a house yet, so I was staying temporarily in a room arranged by the company. To my surprise, I was awakened in the middle of the night by the doorbell. When I opened the door, I found Lu Ruyan. Having not seen her for 5 years, she looked haggard and thin, a complete departure from her previously confident image. Seeing me, she lunged forward, but I quickly raised my hand to stop her. Say what you have to say. If you're here to cause trouble, I'm calling the police. She pleaded, Please don't call the police. You're back, why didn't you contact me? I found it laughable. Miss Lu, we broke up 5 years ago. You are married, why on earth would I contact you? My words hurt her deeply. She took a few steps back, clutching her chest. I'm married. But can't you at least be my friend? I shook my head. I'm someone who knows how to maintain boundaries. Keeping distance from a married person is common courtesy. Besides, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to get jealous. She looked at me in shock. What did you say? A girlfriend? You. How can you have a girlfriend? Amused and frustrated, I said, having a girlfriend is perfectly normal. Did you think I would wait for you my entire life? Lu Ruyan, you think far too highly of yourself. If there's nothing else, you should leave. I moved to close the door, but Lu Ruyan suddenly shoved it open and burst inside. Seeing her defiant attitude, I pulled out my phone and stood right by the door. Seeing me so guarded, she gave a bitter laugh. Are you that afraid of me? I shrugged, seeing no other choice. Just say what you want. She began to pour her heart out. I regret it. I regret marrying Su Hao. Initially, I thought that the only reason we couldn't be together was because our parents opposed it. But after we broke up and I met you, everyone said you weren't worthy of me. I let those words blind me. Yet, while being with you, I grew accustomed to your care and concern. After you left, I realized that I truly loved you. Lu Ruyan cried piteously, looking up at me. During those 3 months abroad, I felt like I couldn't take a single step. I hated you. Why did you abandon me? That was when Su Hao came and took me away. He was like a hero falling from the sky. Watching her weep so theatrically, my head began to throb. After a flight of over 10 hours and having had no rest, listening to her lamentations made me feel like I was going insane. I immediately called the front desk. What kind of operation are you running here? Who leaked my room number and let this crazy woman come here to harass me? Please call the police for me. Lu Ruyan was still immersed in her self-pitying story. Hearing my words, her face turned deathly pale. What did you just say? Call the police? I replied coldly. Do you not understand? I've called the police. If you don't leave immediately, you're going to end up on the trending searches. At that, Lu Ruyan burst into loud sobs. You're calling me a crazy person? Gu Chenan, who am I to you that you can forget all our history like this? I sneered sarcastically. You're just an ex-girlfriend, someone I broke up with 5 years ago. A decent ex-girlfriend should stay out of sight as if she were dead, let alone a married woman like you. Stop degrading yourself, Lu Ruyan. Every beautiful illusion about the past vanished in an instant. My words were blunt, intended only to make her understand that she should stop bothering me. If an outsider saw this, they might think I was trying to seduce her. Her running to my hotel room late at night to confess her feelings wasn't mutual longing, it was one-sided harassment. I was genuinely appalled. Lu Ruyan couldn't accept it and was about to raise her voice again when the hotel staff arrived with the police. I recounted the entire incident to them. The officers looked stunned for a moment, then took her away. Before leaving, she looked at me with pure resentment. Gu Chenan, you will regret this. I didn't care and simply shrugged. I don't think I will. As I lay back on the bed, I breathed a sigh of relief. Through conversations with old colleagues, I had learned that Lu Ruyan and Su Hao's life was miserable. 5 years had been enough to shatter every illusion about her beloved. The man she once considered the light of her life was now nothing more than a stain. The two of them fought constantly over money and conflicts with his mother. Lu Ruyan finally realized that Su Hao was not the ideal man. He was a mummy's boy who listened to his mother about everything. The relationship between Lu Ruyan and her mother-in-law was already strained, and after she lost a pregnancy, the older woman disliked her even more. Su Hao chose to remain silent during the mother-daughter-in-law conflicts, leaving Lu Ruyan utterly disappointed. A colleague warned me, Chenan, don't be fooled. 5 years ago, after she returned, she even came to our office building with a banner saying you abandoned her. The boss was furious. After finding out you had already broken up, he called the police. She's mentally unstable now. I hadn't realized such a thing had happened. I suddenly felt lucky that I had called the police today, otherwise, who knows how far things would have gone. After some thought, I decided to send the entire video recording of tonight's incident to Su Hao, telling him to take care of his woman. I expected they would argue, but I didn't expect the fight to escalate so violently. The next day, while I was at the office, the police came looking for me to ask if I knew Lu Ruyan. Surprised, I nodded, explaining she was an ex-girlfriend and that I had called the police the night before. After checking, the police told me that Lu Ruyan and Su Hao had fought and attacked each other with knives. Su Hao had been stabbed to death, and Lu Ruyan was critically injured. She was currently in the hospital and wanted to see me. Hearing the news, I was profoundly shocked but went to the hospital anyway. When I arrived at the ward, I saw Lu Ruyan lying there, her body covered in bandages and a breathing tube inserted. On the way there, the police told me she had been severely injured in the brawl. They had both used knives, and she had been stabbed multiple times. Even if she healed, she would never fully recover. When she saw me, Lu Ruyan struggled to reach out and grab my hand, but I shook my head. Lu Ruyan, I don't regret having loved you, but I hope that in the future you will not appear again. My words were perhaps cruel, but they were the truth from the bottom of my heart. Lu Ruyan gave a bitter smile and finally let her hand drop. She said to me, I'm sorry, Gu Chenan. I was too greedy. Humans don't know when they have enough, and in the end, I lost the person who loved me most. Can you forgive me? Seeing her fragility, I clenched my fists. Whether I forgive you or not doesn't matter, because we ended a long time ago. Hearing me, Lu Ruyan closed her eyes. I understand. I was wrong, completely wrong. She lay on the bed sobbing uncontrollably. The nurse hurried in to tell her not to get too emotional. After a nod of farewell, I turned and walked away. She did not die. In the end, her life was saved. However, due to the death of Su Hao, she was sentenced. Nevertheless, because they had both fought and Su Hao was the one who initiated it, Lu Ruyan's family hired a lawyer to defend her. The litigation lasted for 2 years. Ultimately, Lu Ruyan was sentenced to 7 years in prison. But due to her severe injuries, by the time she was released, she no longer had the capacity to work. She couldn't even manage her basic daily life and had to return home to depend on her parents. When my girlfriend and I got married, Lu Ruyan's parents also attended. They stood far off in the distance, silently wiping away tears. I did not go to meet them, I only ask someone to bring them some wedding candy as a gift. By the time my daughter started primary school, Lu Ruyan had been released from prison. The next time I saw her was on the news. She was suffering through terrible conditions in a nursing home. The matter was only discovered when family members came to visit. The person implicated in this affair was none other than Wan Ying. Reading this news, I couldn't help but sigh. Wan Ying was truly a devoted lover. She had secretly loved Su Hao, and even after he had passed away, she had not forgotten to seek revenge for him. Wan Ying had even intentionally moved to work at that nursing home, likely with less than kind intentions toward Lu Ruyan. I shook my head, and from that point on, I heard no further news of Lu Ruyan. We each went our separate ways, gradually becoming two parallel lines that would never cross again.